world's most
That is important.
mainstream. Is it real? Got one of the biggest things in American culture.
They not like us.
Think everybody should go on the Breakfast Club. You want to shake it up.
They not like us. What the fuck up, Breakfast Club? DJ Envy,
The People's Choice, the Family Guy.
Jess Hilarious,
So my news is real.
and Charlamagne the God.
Some donkey today's just saw themselves.
Yo, I'm loving that energy up there right now.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show something.
Now let's begin.
Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Jess Hilarious.
Good morning.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Tuesday.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
How y'all feeling?
Blessed, black, and highly favored. I'm gonna tell you something. Though. I'm about to give up this throne, man. This throne be hurting my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you feel about your baby shower, Jeff?
Absolutely. I'm getting rid of this as soon as I have the baby.
After the baby.
I gotta get one well, not like y'all, because that's hurt. Does it hurt your back?
Nah, because I got this cushion on it, so I got the cushion that goes to the
yeah,
back.
you don't have a you don't have
no
a cushion.
I need something that make my hips move around and my back move and my shoulder move. This make me sit too straight. I don't like that.
Yeah, you remember the girl called up here, like when I first started working up here, and she was telling us about ergonomics, and she was like, "Those thrones are gonna hurt y'all back."
She
soon."
definitely
She
was.
did.
She said that, and
Yep.
she was not lying.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel every bit of it in my 45-year-old bones. You hear me? That's all good though.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
sun is out already. I could not believe. Yo, the sun was up and everything at 5:30.
Really?
Yes. What do you mean, really?
I was here early. I didn't see the sun.
Oh yeah, driving in, because I usually
true.
leave my house at like 5:15, 5:25. The sun came up at like 5:21 today.
Really?
I was like, wow. Yep.
Did you watch the games last night, Jess?
Absolutely.
You're a liar.
Who played?
Why would you just lie like that for no reason? I mean, just for no reason.
The
played last
Pacers
night.
and the
Why?
Knicks, they played.
Who
They
won?
did.
The Knicks won.
Okay. All right.
You looking at the
Yes.
paper?
I
I
know
saw
she-
you glance down at it 2 times. I did watch the Knicks Pacers game. Minnesota Timberwolves Nuggets game. Too late for me.
Yeah, I watched
Too
both.
late.
I watched both games last night, and I'm feeling it this morning.
Yeah, I can't get my 6 to 7 hours of sleep per night if I stay up to watch the Timberwolves Nuggets game.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Great games. We'll tell you about it in front page news. And we have Angela Rye joining us this morning. She's knocking out the front page news. What up, Miss
morning.
Rye?
Eddie Ride daughter.
Are we starting right now?
No.
Oh, it's a tease. Okay.
It's just a
Yeah,
tease.
it's the intro to the show.
And what we talk about when we come back, you got that ready, or we need a second?
Oh, no, I'm ready. We're going to talk about Donald Trump because why not? And we're also talking about Brittany Griner.
Okay. All right. We'll get
Brittany,
into
I
all that.
love Brittany.
And also,
Tiffany Haddish will be joining us this morning.
yeah, she's got a new book, I Curse You With Joy.
That's right.
Which is out right now.
Yeah.
So she'll be joining us. And John Karl will be joining us. He's got a book out called Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the show cracking. Front page news is next. What we got?
Snooze.
There we go.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You started with something other than snooze by
You
SZA?
started
I changed it.
Oh, okay. I know SZA Snooze was on deck. It's been on deck for the last 2 years.
I changed it. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast
Who
Club.
knew this one little song would change the course of hip hop?
Word.
I love it.
This one little record.
Word. Well, let's get in some front page news. Angela Rye is here. Good morning, Miss Rye.
Good morning. It is always a pleasure to be with my dear Breakfast Club family.
Good morning, Angela Rye.
We are starting with the positive of something that was really negative at first. Brittany Griner, WNBA All-Star, is of course back. We did not have Brittany for 10 plus months. He was being held in a Russian prison over a weed pen that she forgot was in her suitcase. You all may have been noticing, but she's interviewing. Her book is out. And so she's interviewing. She did an interview last night with Joy Ann Reid where she talked about being Putin's pawn. Let's take a listen.
You wrote a chapter called Putin's Pawn. Did you get the immediate sense of once you had Russian lawyers, one of whom you became very close to, did it become clear to you and to them that Putin was going to use you?
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, the few times that I would get the guards to say something to me when I'm like, where am I going? Am I the only one in the cell? I knew that the American basketball player had to be by themselves. So I'm like, well, this is weird, because normally, you go into the holding tank with everyone else. You're in a cell. You don't have a room to yourself in the beginning. You're with a lot of people. So I already knew that there was little things going on. And then the check-ins, the top guard was always there. The warden, the deputy warden was always there. So I knew that there was some special treatment. Let's keep her good for right now.
You know what's interesting about that? I remember when people started to make noise about it, and folks were saying, no, don't make noise, because they don't want people to know how, I guess, popular she is.
Or, quote unquote, how valuable she is.
Yeah, so I wonder if they really knew from the beginning.
I think they did know from the beginning because she talked about also in this interview how there were 2 different lines for people to go through, and she realized she was the one that was going to be getting screened. She thought nothing of it. I don't know if y'all remember this at the time. She forgot the weed pen was in there. I have a friend who I worked on Capitol Hill with. Her mom forgot she had a gun in her suitcase going through TSA because some folks use their luggage as storage when they're not moving around like that. So I think that this is one of those instances where she talked about forgetting, but she also talked about this experience she had being looked upon as a zoo animal. You can take a look.
And so it strikes me as doubly tragic to feel, as you said, like the zoo animal. When for you, other than playing basketball and sports getting you out of that feeling just growing up, talk a little bit about that.
Definitely always felt like I was the outsider. You know, I vividly remember like 6th, 7th grade, you know, another girl literally came up to me, touched my whole chest and was like, see, she's not a girl. Like the voice being a little bit deeper, the height. I was always the spectacle. I was always the, ooh, look how different you are. And I've always felt that. I mean, I am different. When I walk in a room, people notice how different I am. And it took me a little bit, but I embraced it. But that moment being in that prison and how they were treating me, it took me back to that spectacle of my childhood.
Well, she's 6'9". She probably was 6'3" in 7th grade.
And you think that makes it okay?
No, it don't make it okay, but I can understand why she would be considered a spectacle to other kids.
Yeah,
Come
especially kids. You usually don't
Shaq?
see women that are 6'3" in high school, in elementary school.
I don't
and
know
the fact that her voice is deep, you usually don't see that. Not to say that it's
not
right.
saying it's right,
Yeah, okay.
but I can understand.
Yeah,
I appreciate you all both understanding the trauma that 6th graders probably caused. You all were
I'm
probably
sure.
those who caused it.
Yeah.
No.
Think about how we got it in 6th grade. I talk about it in my book all the time.
saying.
So imagine if I was 6'4".
That has nothing to do with the fact that even from the standpoint of like you're trying to go to sleep, you know how they deprive you of sleep and torture? That's what they were doing to her in Russia. So she was saying it literally took her back to the trauma of her childhood. We all know what that's like. We all have a traumatic experience and we can harken right back to it. That's what she talked about. This is part 1 of the interview. Part 2 airs tonight, and we applaud Brittany for telling her story. She's also expecting a baby.
What's the name of her book?
Her spouse, Sherelle. I do not know it at the top of my head. Look it up on the internet.
That's the whole point.
That is the whole point. That is the whole point of the interview, but I don't know it right now. I was focused more on how compelling this interview was and the fact that we did get her back.
Yeah.
Shout out to Don Staley, by the way, who we all love, who worked really hard to get Brittany back as
Coming
well.
Home is what it's called.
Coming home, yes. Thank you, brother. Teamwork. High five. Okay, too far to reach. Also, speaking of Putin's pawn, this is day 13 of the Trump trial, where he is, of course, facing 34 counts for falsifying business records, for paying Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal to stay quiet about his alleged affairs, and for paying the National Enquirer to catch and kill stories. I don't know if y'all have anything compelling to talk about that, but he also is being threatened with prison time for violating a gag order. Because
he got fined again?
He's been threatened that if he continues to violate the gag order, the $1,000 clearly is no deterrent. So he will be facing jail time if he continues.
It's not happening. The judge, one of the judges even said, I don't want to put you in jail.
Yeah.
You're a former president and possibly the future president of the United States of America.
Imagine what his supporters will do with that.
Yes, they don't want to put him in jail.
No, they don't.
And he knows that.
Well,
he'll wipe his ass with them fines.
Okay. Well, that's what he's doing. So now he's going to be wiping his ass in jail if he keeps it up. Anyway, this is front page news, y'all.
All right. I just want to remind you, last night the Knicks won 121-117. They beat the Pacers, and the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 106-80 if you missed the games last night. All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, call us up right now. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. It's a new day. This is your time to get it off your chest. Wake up. Whether you're mad or blessed.
It's time to get up and get something.
Call up now. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
What up, man? This Knowledge, man. How y'all doing?
Knowledge born. What's happening,
Peace,
dog?
Knowledge. What's up? Get it off your chest.
Man, hey, waiting on Charlamagne to drop them 2 days for Dallas for the book signing, but he ain't doing it yet. He got to go to his main spots first.
I love Dallas, man. Dallas is considered one of my main spots. I'm going to be in Texas, though. Let me look and see where. Let me look it up.
I'm being the shop for the summer, so come there.
Chicago is one of my next dates. When am I be in
Okay.
Texas? I'm gonna be in Texas. Damn, I'm not
So
in
quickly,
Texas.
man, I want to get this off my chest. I normally call and be happy, but man, over the years, this Brittany Griner stuff been getting on me because she got in trouble for something illegal. It happened to me in America. You know what happened? 5 years probation, couldn't get a corporate job, and we celebrating it. Like, what's the example of our kids? Oh, you can get hurt. Oh, you can do something. It'll be all right. And we wasted our taxpayers' money, and it ain't nothing to do with it. It's just we spent so much money on this show. I think it could have been realigned for something
But
else.
knowledge, you do know people make mistakes, and you see how you got 5 years probation. She got like 12 years in prison. There's a big difference.
It is what it is. Hey, I'm going out of town this summer. You think I'm going to take anything that I can do legally in America? No.
He has a point. I can see both sides.
But she made a mistake, and we all make mistakes. And the fact that it's not, I don't even think it's the time, it's the excessive time. If she would have got probation, 5 years probation, probably a year, it probably would have sat better with people. But 12 years, I think the amount of time they try to give her.
We can't control their laws.
You can't.
We got to control ourselves.
More than one thing can be true. Yes, you got to respect the laws of other countries. Yes, we can be happy that Brittany Griner is home. Yes, people can say they feel like, we gave up too much to get Brittany Griner. Mm-hmm. Yes, people can say, hey, they wish that the military veteran that's still locked up over there should be home as well.
Right.
Like, all of those things can be true at one time.
Correct.
I don't know why we act like it can only be either or.
That's right. Hello, who's this?
This is Prince, man. How y'all doing?
Prince, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Orlando, Florida.
What's up, Prince? Get it off your chest.
I just want to say, if Indiana going to beat the Knicks, they're going to have to beat the referees, too, because those last couple calls were very, very suspect. And,
they were, but Jalen Brunson showed out last night. He's been showing out the last 5 games. You got to stop Jalen Brunson.
And the refs have been messing up damn near every game during this series. So you can't just blame they got to beat the refs too. No, they made some bad calls, but my Knicks won. And Jalen Brunson played hard. Josh Hart played hard. So
yeah, you're right. The refs have been suspect in a lot of these series, but that pick last night, that call on that legal pick or whatever they call
legal screen,
that was crazy.
I don't think
I
that
just want to say,
that
was crazy because they even replayed it and they said it was. Now the kickball, that was different, but they even replayed the illegal screen.
I mean, in that part of in that heat of the game, it wasn't that egregious. I don't think they should have called it.
Yeah, they should.
I just want to say, we as black people, we need a movement to come together because all this foolishness is going on in the world, and with this political landscape and the coming election and all this, all these rappers beefing, we need to be focused on how we can come together, stop the violence, and just do something, man, to change the direction of our culture.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yep.
We got to make up our mind about this rap beef too, though.
What you mean?
It's either we want the rap beef because it's fun and good for hip hop. That's why I say more than one thing can be true all the time. There's people out there that think it's fun and good for hip hop. Then there's people out there that feel like it could lead to violence. And we got to stop this and focus on other things. Like to each his own, I guess. Do I think that this will lead to violence? No.
I don't
Do I
think
think
so.
that they have the kind of rhetoric that could lead to violence? Yes, but I don't think it will.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest.
Keep calling.
800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Henry from LI to CT, man. I just want to say I love y'all. Blessed. Good morning. Jess, so beautiful last. Can't wait for that baby to drop. You name him Henry or her.
Henry.
But yeah, I just wanted to give a birthday shout out to my brother Jeremiah and my man PK. They're universal twins. They share the same birthday, but I love y'all boys, man. Stay prosperous. And yo, Charlamagne, I need a hat, yo.
I don't know if we got any, but I can send you a copy of my new book, Get Honest or Die Lying.
Hey, let's sign it, please.
I got you. Eddie,
hold on, I'm putting him on hold.
Email him a book today.
He's on line 3. Hello, who's this?
It's Janae.
Hey, Janae. Good morning. Get it off your chest, Janae.
I really feel like this Kendrick and Drake beef was about to be the most historic moment in hip hop that we've witnessed, and the fans. Social media really ruined this beef real fast.
Talk to me more. Let me hear. Expound on that.
It really made these artists get out of pocket and start acting like they normally don't act. Kendrick getting real emotional, kind of spirally. Drake really not moving like he should. Like, it really made the beef really nasty because the court of public opinion cannot look at these songs objectively.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't give a damn about the court of public opinion. I enjoyed it. I think it was the greatest rap feud of all time. I think that Drake and Kendrick both delivered with the music. I don't see the problem.
I agree. I love the fact that they gave us the music. I love the fact that they came back so fast. I love the fact that it just gave people something to talk about for the last couple of days. Now, I mean, you could decide who you thought it was a winner. Some people thought it was Kendrick. Some people thought it was Drake. But I think hip hop really won. I mean, the amount of music we got. I just hope those brothers didn't take it too far where they want to.
They did.
Where they want to hurt each other.
No, they did. You call me a pedophile. You say I'm a woman beater. You say my wife is pregnant. Had a baby by my man. Yeah, you took it too far. You ain't gonna never see them on stage in the future holding each other's hands up. Like, I remember how Nas and Jay came out and they did the whole I declare peace thing. That's not happening.
No?
No. Hell no.
I never thought Jay and Thing would do it though either.
Nah.
I never thought Jay and
Nas was totally different.
I never thought I would see Jeezy and Gucci on the stage together.
I never thought I would see Jeezy and Gucci. You might. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're right. With the Jeezy and Gucci thing, you're right.
But are they cool?
I wouldn't say that they're cool, but I think they can
get some money and do the verses. But they not cool.
They could be on the same tour.
They were still throwing crazy shots.
But at one time, they could even be on the same stage with each other.
By the way, it took 20. That was 20 plus years later too. So at least I think it was at least 20.
So we got about 19 more years then.
You got about 19 more years before you see something like that. But I thoroughly enjoyed this battle. But stands are going to be stands too. I think the problem with hip hop is that it's not like sports, so you can't say who won. Everybody just wants to go with who their preference is, whether it's Drake or Kendrick. When it's a sport, it's a score.
Yeah.
You know?
But these fans are crazy because at one time when I said I thought Kendrick was winning, then I was a Kendrick guzzler. Then when I said I think Drake got it, then I was a Drake guzzler. I don't even know.
You are a Drake guzzler though, but it's because you beige. Because beige people stick together. Beige lives matter. I get it.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
I'll tell you who I thought won.
So who do you think won?
I have no horse in this fight.
So who do you think won?
I told you. I thought it was Kendrick until I heard Drake say he fed him the lines. I thought that was masterful.
You're stupid to believe that he fed that. The fact that you even still believe in that is crazy to me.
Maybe.
like that makes no sense.
Maybe.
Like if I fed Kendrick those lines, if you watch that Family Matters video, Drake documented everything. Why wouldn't you record yourself showing that you feeding Kendrick the lines?
Maybe it's more.
It's not more.
Maybe it's more.
No.
Maybe it's more.
No.
Maybe it's more. Who you think won?
I don't think anybody wins.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got Jess with the Mess coming up. What are we talking about?
Yeah, some protesters was headed for the Met Gala last night.
Did they make it? Well, I guess we'll find out when we come back.
We will find out.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Where the hell is Jess at? Good morning. Listen, I want to tell y'all too. My new book, Get Honest or Die Lying: Why Small Talk Sucks, comes out May 21st, man. So go to whysmalltalksucks.com to see where I'm going to be at in the next couple of weeks as far as pulling up the bookstores in your city.
That's right. All right. Well, let's get to Jess with the Mess.
The news is real, whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies,
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mess.
On the Breakfast Club.
She's a culture shifter.
She was able to get y'all to see something and understand something that nobody could get you to see.
It's time to set it off.
Okay, so 2 months ago, I reported on the death of John Barrett, who was a former Boeing quality control manager. He became one of the many whistleblowers who warned us about all the dangers of the Boeing's production standard. He was found with a gunshot wound that determined to be self-inflicted. But now another whistleblower died after a short illness. We got the news report.
A second Boeing whistleblower, now dead after experiencing a brief illness. This comes after Joshua Dean expressed concerns over manufacturing issues with the company's 737 MAX planes.
The 45-year-old died Tuesday after an agonizing 2 weeks, in critical condition rather. His aunt tells the Seattle Times Dean started having trouble breathing. He was intubated, got pneumonia, and then MRSA. Before he died, doctors were considering amputating his hands and feet, but he was too weak for surgery. Dean used to work as a quality inspector for Spirit Aerosystems, a Boeing supplier. He was fired in April 2023. He said it was in retaliation for flagging safety concerns regarding the 737 MAX plane.
Okay, 2 whistleblowers randomly end up dead. Mm-hmm. Don't make it so obvious, guys.
I know, right?
Well, you got to remember, Boeing.
Slow down, space them out or something.
Is a $110 billion company, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to make sure that company and that stock, because the stock shot down, I think a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes to get that stock back to where it needs to be.
Listen, we're not accusing nobody.
Not at all.
All we're saying is don't make things so obvious.
Yeah.
All right, space them apart.
And
Slow
of course,
them down.
there are conversations about that, whether their deaths are suspicious or just a coincidence.
I mean, if somebody randomly just gets sick and 2 weeks ago, just all of a sudden can't just stops being able to breathe the way they used to.
And can't speak on the stand.
Yeah. Yeah, can't even get surgery. You too weak.
It's a hell of a coincidence, guys.
That's right.
Just want to throw that. It's a hell of a coinkydink.
Yep. And the attorneys for both Joshua and John hope that their deaths don't scare away the at least 10 more whistleblowers who want the company to be.
Oh, they swallowed them
cleaned up.
whistles.
Yeah. No,
them whistles are swallowed.
Done, gone.
Swallowed.
Crazy. But prayers up to their families. Moving on,
Definitely.
Met Gala recap. Last night was the 2024 Met Gala in New York City. It was one of the biggest nights in fashion. As usual, the stars were in attendance, but some of my favorite looks personally were Damson Idris. He was so clean from head to toe.
Who?
Lord, no, Damson Idris.
Oh.
Do you know what it is?
Now go ahead.
Damson Idris.
There you go.
But it's Idris, yo. Like, you gotta stand like you from over there where he from.
Damson Idrisi. I was like, who the hell is that?
It's not Idrisi, it's Idris.
I knew who you was talking about, so I wasn't tripping.
You wasn't tripping?
Nah.
Okay.
Lord Nas X, I loved it. He killed this little outfit.
He was naked?
No, he was not. He was
What?
fully clothed.
Okay.
And he had the little Cisco haircut going on, the platinum. It was nice to me. He looked nice. Nicki Minaj, she understood the assignment. Willow and Jaden Smith killed this side by side. Kim Kardashian, I liked her outfit. Mindy Kaling, I liked her outfit too. Her presentation was nice.
Let me ask you a question before you jump. They said Kim Kardashian's waist was too small. Did you see that? They said it was.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't it always been?
Okay.
You know, but the outfit was very form-fitting. I liked it.
Okay.
She killed it.
She just look a little boneless in the waist. That's all.
Yeah, she definitely. I mean, I feel like she always looked like that.
Yeah.
Though. Like, you know, when she wear those type, that girl will not breathe on purpose to look like that. You know, so it is what it is.
Suffocate for style.
I'm telling you. Katy Perry was one of my favorite looks also, but she actually really wasn't there. People reported that pictures of Katy Perry at the Met Gala was AI. So,
hilarious.
I know, but she would have killed it if she was there. So AI Katy Perry killed it, definitely. And Rihanna also reportedly missed the Met Gala because she was fighting the flu. So healing energy over there.
I saw Cardi look good too.
Yeah, Cardi B.
Okay.
Looked dope.
Yeah. Yep, I saw her too. Yeah, protesters crashed the event, the PPPs, which is the pro-Palestine protesters. I just said PPPs because that's very long. They attempted to storm the Met Gala. The protest started around 4 p.m. at Columbia University and New York University with a planned meetup at Hunter College at 5 p.m. before marching towards the Met. Police had barricades set up about a block away. Some protesters were able to get past the police, but were eventually stopped and arrested. The Met Gala itself had more security than usual, and the event remained safe. So.
Yeah, the Met Gala security was waiting on Kanye and Diddy to try to crash the party. That's what that was for.
Lord.
You stupid. But how the Met Gala security better than these university security?
I know.
Like them students didn't get nowhere near the Met Gala.
None.
Not even close.
Well, they're already on the campus of the college.
Yeah, but college campus and the police couldn't even get them off campus. Met Gala, they wasn't nowhere near the Met Gala.
Well, I mean, it's different when you start inside something. Like if you start there already, it's different than trying to get inside.
Yeah. Meg Thee Stallion dropped a new freestyle. She flipped Gucci's 2010 song, I Think I Love Her.
Tina Snow, niggas know I'm the coldest. Tell her just let it go cause I'm frozen. Ask him what I got on, he don't know it. Ziggins ain't had no taste before COVID. I can tell by her way that she trolling. When I look at my DM, they own me. Can't walk with I feel like Naomi. The way I play Ziggins, I need me a Tony. Good brain, graduated top of my percentile. Take it out the chat, I ain't trying to be a pen pal. Meanwhile, it's
Yeah, she always eats. We know that she is phenomenal at her freestyles. Although I reported yesterday that some of her tickets are going as low as $24, which was a fact. She also has $200 tickets, $300 tickets, and even more in some other cities. And she also did sell out some venues. United Center in Chicago, Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, MSG in New York is already sold out. Wells Fargo Center in Philly, CFG Arena in my city, Baltimore, and State Farm Arena in Atlanta, and a lot of others. So what you don't know the day before, you find out the next day.
That's right, because I asked the question yesterday. I said, is Megan Thee Stallion an arena artist.
Yep.
Clearly, we got our answer because, like Jess just said, she sold out 13 arena stops, and I think I read over 240,000 tickets.
Yes,
across
240,000
across North America and Europe. So, and if you selling out arenas, you're an arena artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't think people should be hating on them $24 tickets. Please take them, because I'm about to buy Chris Brown tickets for $400.
400?
400, because he not hitting me back like boy. But when you want something, you hit me up.
Has he ever hit you?
What?
Has he ever hit you?
Yes, he has hit me.
What'd he say?
What he be wanting?
First of all, mind y'all business.
What he say?
You put it out there. Ain't nobody even
But this
knew.
was back when we was messing with each other, but now we not.
What?
So
What you mean
messing with each other?
What is you talking about?
They be hating like crazy. Listen, we got
No, we asking questions.
You love
you a Chris
we
now.
We got front page news coming up, y'all. Where's Angela?
Angela Rye will be joining us next for front page news, and then Tiffany Haddish will be in the building.
What?
Nothing. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Come on, we got me this photo.
You're checking out the Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news.
Angela Rye is here.
Angela Rye is here. Morning, Miss Rye.
All right, y'all. Here we go. So, Columbia University has canceled their university-wide commencement ceremony on May 15th and instead is having several smaller-scale school-based graduations. And this is after weeks of anti-war protests and counter-protests on campus. While a lot of private universities have codes of conduct that align with the constitutional right to protest, the threats and consequences for students who have engaged in these protests include suspension at some institutions of higher learning. So there is some nuance here, but there are some parents, I think especially black parents, who see this issue as very black and white. Let's roll the clip.
Now, as parents, how do you feel about these protests on campus? Sarah, we'll start with you.
Are we rolling?
Now, I'm all for free speech, but I don't understand what they think they're accomplishing, and that's really putting a strain on me and my daughter's relationship.
Well, I think it's just great, it's wonderful. Nothing makes me prouder than young people using their voices to fight for what they believe in.
Alphonse, your daughter must feel so supported when she's out there.
What's that now? When whose daughter is out there?
At the protest.
You bugging. Alexis Vanessa Roberts better have her butt in class. Let me find out she in one of them damn tents instead of the dorm room that I pay for.
I thought you were in favor of the student protest.
Brother man, I am supportive of y'all's kids protesting. Not my kids.
Gaza, you better get your Gaza in that damn class before I Gaza your ass.
Exactly. So even though that's an SNL skit, I know we're all laughing because either we have that parent or we know a parent just like that. And speaking of,
we are that parent.
Or you are that parent. So Envy, tell your story. Tell your truth.
I mean, yesterday was my daughter's last class, so she's supposed to graduate in another week or so, and we don't know if she's going to actually have a graduation because they're saying that they might cancel a graduation. And the sad thing about it is she didn't have a full graduation for high school because of COVID. So she didn't get to experience what she should have experienced because of COVID, and now she might not be able to experience her graduating college because of what's going on with all these protests, which is sad and similar to what the SNL skit is. I'm support free speech, absolutely, positively, but there's a lot of students that work hard that want to graduate. There's a lot of students that put themselves through college. There's a lot of parents that work very hard to make sure that they can pay for school, and they want to see their child walk across that stage, and I might not have that opportunity, so I might have to create a stage in the backyard just to see my daughter walk across. But I want to see my daughter walk across. I want to hear them yell her name, and the grandparents and my parents and myself and my wife, scream Madison, whatever it may be. But we might not get that opportunity.
Do a little dance to some pomp and circumstance.
There you go.
That's right.
I love that, and it's so important to again hold the space for that nuance, because there are a lot of people who may listen to this show every morning who are like, yeah, there are kids in Gaza who aren't going to experience graduation because they won't live to see that graduation. So I know it's hard to hold both. I totally understand what you're saying, but one thing
why do we even got to compare though?
No, well, I'm not. That's why I said nuance. It's not comparison at all. What I'm actually saying is we have to hold space for the humanity of both. Right? I'm empathizing with what Envy is saying, but one thing I know about you: if anybody's likely to build a stage in the backyard,
absolutely,
it will be you, and that's an amazing opportunity for you. So shout out to your daughter, and we certainly hope to see her walk across the stage.
I hope so.
And speaking of our ability to fulfill the American dream, there's a recent report by Investopedia that estimates to fulfill the American dream, it would cost $3.4 million over a lifetime. There are a lot of folks who can't afford that right now based on what they say is the average $2.3 million.
And what's a lifetime?
Well, that I know, and isn't it changing every single day? Like, one of the things that I thought was fascinating in this report is it says the lifetime cost, the highest cost on here is health insurance at $934,000 plus. We were supposed to have passed whole legislation to make this a hell of a lot easier, so I'm actually shocked that is the number one cost on this report. The next is mortgage. It talks about the cost of raising 2 kids, lifetime car costs, pet costs. They even put the funeral costs. You still paying when you die.
That's right.
So we have a hell of a bridge to close, a gap to bridge, and I think this report is shedding some light on that. So we hope the kids can cross the stage and then can pay for the lifetime that lies ahead. We know that this life is not easy or cheap. And this American Dream report tells us that a lot of folks will be living a nightmare because there's a big gap.
And that's why I keep telling people, most folks in America can't see past their bills. Y'all be getting mad at people for not caring about what's going on all over the world. Very hard to do that when I can't even focus on putting food on my table or keeping a roof over my head right here.
Well, not only that, what she said, one of the most important things, and I know we're seeing it a lot more because we're getting a little older, a lot of our friends and the people that we know a little older than us are dying because they can't go. They can't go to the doctor, or they don't have health coverage. They can't pay for an ambulance. They can't pay for emergency room. So what a lot of people do is they just take a little aspirin and say, "Oh, it'll be okay." And then by the time they figure out what's wrong, it could have been prevented.
They don't even have health insurance to go cover a physical. Just going to get a regular yearly annual physical.
You know, the other thing that's coming up for me, I'm 44 now, so one of the things that's coming up for me is our parents are getting older, and one of the things that we're not really set up to do, I think, especially in Black and brown communities, is being able to caretake for our elder parents.
You're right.
You end up in a position where you can't continue to earn for towards the American dream because you have to take time off to support your parents. Thank God that's not my lot, but a lot of my friends are taking their parents to doctor's appointments and occupational therapy and physical therapy so that they're good. That's another big part of this.
And I will say this, if you can, and I know it's something that people don't like to think about, but you should also think about, and I know this is going to sound crazy, is to make sure you take care of your funeral so you don't leave that cost with your kids or your family when you do pass. When my wife's mother passed away, we had to pay for the funeral, but what it made me think was I paid for, it's going to sound crazy, I paid for my own funeral. And my wife's funeral, so that when we pass, that's something my kids don't have to worry about. I paid for my casket, I paid for the burial. I paid for that already. So if something ever happens, it's just pull it out the safe and look where it is. So my kids, that's one thing my kids don't have to worry about, And I don't want to GoFundMe for that. Like, please, I don't want to GoFundMe. Please. If you put a GoFundMe up for me, you better not.
I'm definitely starting one. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Because, we get to live long, healthy lives. Boy, but if not, I'm putting one out just to do it. See? This man was lying the whole time he was here.
Anyway.
All the generational wealth talk.
Jess, the other thing they don't cover in some of these breakdowns, well, they do. They say cost of 2 baby deliveries. We know that you are with child, glowing and beautiful.
Thank you.
But there are also so many challenges that exist around childcare and all of that. Like, even getting on lists and access to childcare services is costly and difficult.
Yeah, it is. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Yes.
That's it. Yes, full stop. Okay. Well, we are hopeful that everything will be fine and there will be no complications, no challenges, and no extra costs.
No extra costs.
Yeah, that's the main thing. But college, speaking of costs $42,000 as well on the low end. We know for some colleges that could be a year.
Yeah, she ain't gonna go.
What?
I'm manifesting the daughter. She ain't gonna go there.
She not gonna go.
She gonna do radio.
Okay. Okay. So she not even going to
comedy.
She was like, "There's another way to fulfill the American dream."
We ain't doing a college, nope.
Okay. Well, that's what it is. So shout out to Jess's baby fulfilling the American dream by going through radio just like you and whatever else we want to do. So that's it. That's it for Front Page News.
And listen, make sure you subscribe and download to the Native Land podcast hosted by Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, and Andrew Gillum on the Reason Choice Media iHeartRadio Podcast Network.
That's right.
They drop new episodes every Thursday, right?
Yes, every Thursday.
And you'll be joining us later this week too to sit with Miss Marilyn Mosby.
Yes.
Hey.
She'll be Miss Marilyn Mosby will be joining us later this week.
Okay. All right. Now, when we come back, comedian Tiffany Haddish will be joining us, an actress. So we're going to talk to Tiffany when we come back.
She's got a new book, I Curse You With Joy, out today.
That's right. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes. Good sister.
Tiffany Haddish is back. Welcome.
Hey, boo. Yay.
How
Good
you
morning.
feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. How are you feeling?
Blessed, black, and highly favored. You look good.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I feel good.
There you go.
Yeah.
New book, I Curse You With Joy. Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, it's funny, everybody's calling it I Curse You With Joy, but I call it, is at the top of the page, if you look at the front page, it say, Tiffany Haddish, I Curse You With Joy.
Got you.
Yeah. I need to say that, but you can say I Curse You With Joy.
You've been saying that for since I've known you. You always do that, like curse people with joy.
Yeah, because there's a lot of unhappy people.
Yeah,
and I mean, if you look at the internet, you can see it's a lot of hate and anger and sadness out there. And I could combat that with the same thing, or I could say, you know what, look, I curse you with some joy because you obviously are not happy. So I'm sharing some stories in this book. It's a series of essays, if you will, and then I'm sharing some dark things about my existence and how I find the bright side of it. You know.
What got you to the point to write the book? Was it a particular comment? Was it something that somebody said, or you just was all of the above?
No, I had always wanted to do that because the first book, Tiffany Haddish, The Last Black Unicorn, that first one, I had edited down. I had took a lot of stuff out because it was too long. I don't like super long, but I don't like them too long, personally. If I'm not going to read it, why would I expect somebody else to read it, right? So I took a lot out. So on this next book, I Curse You With Joy, all the stuff that I had took out the first book, I put in this book, plus more of the journey of being this, shot out of a cannon star, I guess you would say. And it's been an interesting journey. You guys have known me since the beginning of the journey. You guys have seen the whole ups and downs and all of that. I'm like, this is the craziest roller coaster, and nobody gives you a manual on how to be famous. Nobody gives you a manual on how to handle certain things, and you have to figure that. You got to figure it out, and it is hard. It is very hard, but I'm having fun doing it.
What was the most difficult part? You said you figured it out.
The most difficult part was not rolling up on somebody and whooping their ass. Right. Because I'm from the 1900s, and we'll show up to your mama house and beat your ass. That's what it is, like the good old days. You know, oh, you talking shit? Okay, I'm finna come over there and beat you up. You know, when my period come on and I got some time, I will call people. I will make a phone call.
Is it true that there was a rumor that you were actually, I guess you found an app that you could actually find out where these people live or find their number?
Yeah, you can find people. You know, I used to be married to a private investigator, so I know how to get in your business if I want to.
Right.
And so when the lady in the red dress show up, I become a little evil, and I be having time sometimes. Sometimes I have time. So then I decide to take that time to invest in people that like to talk, and I'll put your business out there, not like dox you or nothing like that, but I'll call you or I'll make comments on your page, and you won't know it's me, but I'll make comments about police records and
So when you call these internet trolls, you call saying this is Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be like, is this blah, blah, blah? And they be like, yep. I'll be like, this Tiffany Haddish. They be like, what? Nah. What? No, this is Tiffany Haddish. First of all, I want to say, I know you love me because you spent 3 hours making a video. The video was 3 hours. So I know you spent at least 6 editing it and all of that, like searching for pictures and finding out, like, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Or, I see your whole YouTube page is about me. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to let you know that I'm about to monetize your videos. Cause you use some of my content in there. So I'm gonna need to get paid too.
That's right.
And they be like, you crazy. Ain't no way this is you. No. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I have endometriosis. And so I'm telling you, I'm using it.
Yeah.
So I'm using it. I'm using the energy towards something positive.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know, hi.
Yeah.
I know you love me.
Was writing your book therapeutic for you though? Like in any way?
I don't know. I've been in therapy so long. I don't know. I don't know if it was therapeutic. I felt like it was more so informative for others. Like it was my way of sharing for others. Some parts are a little cathartic or whatever, but for me it was more so I want people to know they're not the only person going through what they're going through. Like, and just because somebody's famous doesn't mean they're not a regular human being, and that there's not like bad days. Sometimes it's more bad days than good. Especially like, I don't know, dealing with losing my grandma really kind of just threw me for a loop. I feel like my soul was like, look, we done had too many losses at this point, so we gonna have to sit down and deal with it. And if you don't sit down and deal with it, I'm gonna make you do things that's gonna have to make you sit down and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
was the daddy issues chapter hard?
That was the hardest one.
Yeah.
That was the hardest one, because I realized, like, man, it's hard not having a dad. Mm-hmm. And then, like, when I met my dad, it was like I was a little girl all over again. Mm-hmm. And like, I remember everything about him. You know, even though I was 3 years old the last time I saw him, I remember how he smelled. I remember what he sounded like. Just hearing his voice, my whole soul lit up. Like, nobody sound like my daddy. Mm-hmm. Nobody could be my daddy. And so, but there was years I was trying to find my dad, like, you know, through other men and through whatever. I was doing stupid shit. I was dumb. And there's a lot of us out here like that. Mm-hmm. But you can pull past all that and grow and be successful. You about to make me cry.
Is it true? Do women really look for that in men? Like, do they look for somebody that's like their daddy?
I don't know. I don't know what other women looking for. I know what I was looking for.
Yeah,
I was looking for like safety.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel like no fear. Mm-hmm. For so many years growing up, it was like every day was scary. You know, to be scared every day. So then to decide, like, I'm not going to be scared no more, and I'm going to find somebody that's going to do this with me and protect me and love on me and hold me and, like, take care of me and kiss on me and tell me I'm doing good. But it's hard to find. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm a little difficult. I'm sweet, though.
How do you mean
I'm
you're
a little difficult? I want to do what I want to do.
Okay.
Because that's part of, I think, not growing up with the father is like, I know how to take orders and I know how to get things done. If you ask me to do something, I'm gonna get it done for you, but I'm gonna do it on my time when I feel like it. Mm-hmm. And if a man's like, I need you to call me when you leave out of there, I want you to be here at this time, whatever. If I'm not getting a paycheck, I'm gonna show up when I feel like it. I'm gonna be at your house when I feel like coming to your house. You know, I think that's been the biggest issue is like, I don't want to feel like I got to answer to this man.
Mm-hmm. So you've never had that type of relationship yet where you would be like, okay, I'm gonna let this man lead. Like, no one has ever shown you that they were worth that.
I let men lead all the time. I let them lead, but that don't mean I'm gonna follow all the way.
You don't like the direction, especially if you don't like the direction.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna let you lead it and then start seeing like this is not going. This don't feel safe. This don't feel safe, I'm not gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I need to feel safe. I need to feel like this is where I'm gonna be, like, spiritually I need to feel safe, emotionally I need to feel safe, physically I need to feel safe, financially I need to feel safe, and I don't need to be feeling like I'm being used. If I feel any type of way I'm being used or manipulated in some kind of way, no. And if you using me, tell me you using me so I can use you to, like, I can help you use me better. I'm here to be used. We all are here to be used for some purpose, something, right? Mm-hmm. But tell me what you're using me for, and I might help you get it done better. Mm-hmm. Don't sneak it. Don't do it sneakily. Like, think I'm stupid, because I'm not. I might be setting you up to get.
Use me, don't misuse me.
Yeah, use me, don't abuse me.
Yeah.
All right, we got more with Tiffany Haddish when we come back. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Tiffany Haddish. Now, it says you haven't been drinking in 7 months.
Has it been 7 months? No. I haven't had sex since October.
Oh, since October.
That's 7 months.
Oh, it says sober and 7 months.
I haven't drank since November 20. What was the 23rd? When was Thanksgiving? 23rd? Yeah.
How is it affecting your comedy? You know, sometimes when you look at comedians or even rappers, actors, sometimes that's what they use because they're used to it. They drink and they do a show. So that fact that you haven't drinking, does it make your show, is it easier? Is it more difficult? Are you seeing clearer?
I see everything more clear for sure, and but I don't really drink before shows. I would probably drink during like while I'm on stage. I would have a drink while I'm on stage, but like before, no. I didn't smoke no weed before, none of that. Not before the show, but maybe by the second or third show of the night, I'm probably lit as because I started drinking on the first show. Yeah, but I notice now, like if there's more than 2 shows in the night, by the end of that second show, I'm sleepy.
You tired?
I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. I just want to go to bed. Like, I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, 9:30. And, but comedy happens at night. And then I've been getting up super early in the morning working out, so I make sure I get my afternoon nap. If I don't get no nap in the afternoon, I'm pretty much the rest of the evening. But I feel like my comedy I've been listening to it because I record every set. I've been recording every set for the last, 4 5 years through my phones and my recording devices, and I was listening to like before my grandma died, how much joy was in my voice, and then like after my grandma died, like I don't know, I'm about to like maybe when Jesus died, it was before Jesus' death.
BC.
Yeah, and then
so you BG.
Yeah, before grandma. I don't know, but
BGAG.
Yeah, BGAG. Yeah. Anyways, I just noticed there's a big difference in like people like, oh, you saying you look good, you feeling good, like your energy's good, and I do feel good, and I am happy for the most part, but I feel like there's this huge grief hanging over me. Like
That's
I just
normal.
feel like grief.
Hey, that's normal.
Yeah. Do you write on that?
Yeah, I write on that. Yeah, I talk about it on stage, how I like deal with my grief. Like some days it'd be so heavy, I'm like, oh, I gotta do something for Granny today. And I'll put a picture of her up in the backyard. I put on some music and I do rhythmic dance from gymnastics and with ribbons and stuff, and I dance around in my backyard. I hope nobody ever sees that. It's just for my grandma and God.
What do you think got you more focused? No or no alcohol?
No. Because I was drinking and wasn't getting no.
Okay.
Seems like you're thinking about something now.
Yeah, I was waiting if it was something else.
Your eyes did wander. It didn't look like your mind.
I just had a flash of some in my head. Just a flash of some. And I'm just like, it's mediums. My fave.
So did you stop smoking weed too?
No, I'm back smoking weed. I started back smoking weed after my court date.
Okay.
It's mediums.
I'm not gonna drink no more. I probably will never drink alcohol again until like I'm engaged to get married, just so he can see like my full crazy. Yeah, like there's with like no restrictions. I feel like though I have more restrictions. I was way too nice. I feel like when I would be drinking, I'd be way too nice, way too accommodating, probably way too loud because alcohol make you deaf. So, and I think I'm a little meaner now. I'm quick to tell people no now.
I don't think that's mean. You just set boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. I feel like boundaries is mean though. It can't be.
Protect your peace too.
I know. I'm protecting it.
Yeah,
I'm protecting it.
Now, have you and Monique had a conversation since she was on Club Shay Shay?
No, we have not had no conversation. We barely ever had a conversation, ever. I've, tried to talk to her here and there or whatever, but no, we haven't had no conversation. I slid in her DMs and she got my number if she checked.
Oh, you just sent her your number to hit you
No,
up?
I sent her a statement.
Yeah.
A statement.
And here's my number too.
And here's my number if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that the whole state of black comedy since the top of the year? It's like since Cat Williams did that interview, it feel like everybody just been kind of at each other. Like it's almost like you go to Club Shay Shay just to get at other comedians.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Godfrey didn't go at other comedians.
No, Godfrey didn't. No, he didn't.
Rel didn't go at other comedians.
Rel did a little bit.
Just a little bit,
Rel
maybe.
did a little bit.
Just a little bit. I don't know. I feel like that's something we do in the club. Like, if you got some beef with somebody, you, like, tell them to their face.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I have. I've definitely gone up to people in their face and said, I don't like you, or what you did was up. I ain't feeling that. Like, I haven't had to do it too often because there's not too many people that, like, really get on my nerves like that. Just a few people. I mean, that's comedy. Like, you're supposed to, it's a little challenge, but I don't know about doing it in front of the world like that. I don't know about all that.
Yeah. It seemed like there was a brunch this weekend. I think a Netflix brunch this weekend.
Yeah, that was fun.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
It seemed like everybody that was beefing with each other were all in the same room.
Yeah, but you know what was crazy? You know what was crazy? We was outside. Okay, so we wasn't in the same room. We was outside. And everybody was there. And Cat was there. And he was looking very interesting.
He had his mask on, his white mask on.
Yeah, he was looking very interesting, very shiny. And it was super cool. And he's talking to everybody, moving around the room and stuff, talking to everybody. And then as soon as Kevin got there, nobody could find Cat. I don't know where Cat went. But then he did perform live. But it was like 1
in the afternoon.
Yeah, the brunch started at 12.
Okay.
And then I think Kevin got there like 1:30, and then Cat was gone.
Did you speak to Cat?
No. No. I smiled and waved.
You cursed him with joy?
And he looked at me. I don't think he recognized me because I had a wig on, so I don't think he realized it was me. That's what I'm telling myself. Or he just was like, I ain't with her right now. She's gonna talk crazy to me.
But that's fine though.
Yeah.
Everybody put their boundaries up. I'd rather y'all not speak than see each other in public and be cursing at each other.
I wouldn't. First of all, I love me some Cat. Me and Cat ain't got no beef. I mean, he do like saying my name, and I think it's because my name garnishes clicks for some reason. Especially if you say like one negative thing around my name, everybody's clicking on like, oh, what she do now? What she do now? What she do now? So like, And I think he knows that. He's a genius. So he's like, okay, what's going to get me the clicks? What's going to get the, he just randomly will say my name and don't say shit else. Just Tiffany Haddish and Laugh Factory. And then let me tell you about this Kevin. Like, that don't make no sense. So he's like, I'm the one that put her on. She was in school dance with me. And I'm like, I never said that you didn't put me on or that you did, but Nick Cannon did put me in school dance for that role, not Cat Williams, but we did kill that together. Like we did that together, and that was awesome. And it's like a viral moment online. And I love Cat. I sent him a script, and then he's like, oh, "We gotta work on the writing on this script." Okay, let's work on it. Who do you want to write? Like whatever. Like let's make it happen. Let's make a movie. Like I love him. I think he's super talented.
It is strange when people try.
But he do get on my motherfucking nerves sometimes.
It is strange when people act like you didn't come up like everybody else. Like you was in the comedy clubs, you busted your ass, you did all of that.
Yeah, I mean, Cat put me out the club at the Hollywood Park Casino. I was underage, and he was doing the Hollywood Park Casino every week, and I was too young to be in there. And he put me out. Be like, you ain't got no idea, you can't be in here, and like he put me out. And then finally, I was old enough, and he let me perform, and then he commenced to roasting me for like probably 20 minutes after I got off stage. And I felt so proud. I was like, Cat Williams is talking about me. I was so happy.
He was roasting you back then?
He was roasting me back then. He roasted the shit out of me. I'm like, do you remember this? He's like, no, Tiffany, I never remember this. I showed him a picture. He was like, oh, that was your skinny ass? So I feel honored. It's funny because some people don't even... Like, I remember them, but they don't remember me. They like, no, we just met. I'm like, no, we met back in 2001 at this place. And they're like, no. And then I show them a picture, and they're like, oh, you were kind of mean. But now you're nice, so I'm cool.
All right, we got more with Tiffany Haddish when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Tiffany Haddish. A lot going on. Drake, Kendrick, what's your thoughts? Gotta ask you, what's your thoughts?
She West Coast to the core. What's your thoughts? But then you Jewish too.
I am
so
Jewish.
You got
look. I'm a Jewish businesswoman, and I'm about what's entertaining. And if I'm going with the entertainment factor of it all, Kendrick is killing that ass. Like, I am very entertained. He got all the good punchlines. Drake got good punchlines and all that too. And I just want to give Drake, you doing a good job. I'm proud of you, because he's sensitive. He went off on me before.
He went off on you?
He's very sensitive.
In your DMs?
No, not in my DMs. In my face. He told me.
What did he say?
He told me I didn't like that. That hurt my feelings.
What did you say
I'm
about
sorry. I will not talk about that no more. Although I did tell you I was going to talk about that. And he said it hurt his feelings. And I said, okay, I'm sorry.
What did you talk about?
I talked about how his daddy, I told him I wasn't going to talk about it no more, but I'm going to talk about it. His daddy be trying to holler.
His daddy trying to holler at you.
Yeah, his daddy be trying to holler. He don't like that. I said I'd much rather be your baby mama than your stepmama.
He ain't like
he don't want to do that. I like his dad, but not like that.
Yeah.
But why would it hurt his feelings that his daddy tried to holler at you?
Because I talked about it on stage.
Oh, got you.
I talked about it.
There was a lot of people that knew that then, since you talked about it on stage, and they got back to him. He's probably like, oh no.
His daddy's interesting. But no,
you going on a date with his daddy?
No, I don't go on a date with his daddy. I said he interested. No, I see him at different events and stuff, and different, like, he be at Jewish stuff and all that. His daddy be around. Like, I don't know if he's looking for his next Jewish baby mama or what, but he outside. He be outside. So, but as far as the beef goes, the rap battle, I'm loving it. I'm here for it. I think I'm so proud of Kendrick. I'm so proud of him. Like, he's killing it, and he's like in the lab just bringing it, and the punchlines are there. Like, he's killing it. I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of Drake too. Okay. He has an airplane.
It's a great battle.
It's an airplane.
He has an airplane. Now I think it's a little they going a little below the belt, but
they way below the belt.
Yeah, they way below the belt. They going, it's deep.
Yeah.
But it's like a real rap battle. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like we get at a cypher or something.
Yeah. We ain't had one of these in a long time.
Yeah.
A real good one.
Feel like I'm back on the school bus.
Yeah.
What happened at where was you at? An outside joke appearance? What is that?
Yeah. So I was at the Netflix is not a joke. Netflix not a joke. I was at a show.
Okay.
Outside
and
for Netflix.
They said you went on a rant about college protests.
Yeah, I went off because people were saying, they were saying what they were saying, and they was like, you got to support the colleges, and I'm like, I don't want to support people tearing up a school. I don't think that's the way to go about it. If you really want if you want stuff like this to stop happening, if you're protesting the genocide that's going on and you want that to stop happening, I think there's some better ways to go about making it stop happening. Blocking people from going to class is not going to be the thing. I don't think that's going to be the thing, because that's what the Nazis did. They blocked the Jews. They blocked the Jehovah's Witnesses. They killed a lot of people. They didn't just kill Jews. They was killing everybody that was not like them. So and they were blocking them from getting their education, blocking them from being able to have a living. They were hurting them. And so to me, if you really want to be change, you want to make change, you really want to be effective, you really want this to stop, then start learning, get yourself educated and get in there and change the laws. Change get in NATO or whatever, the international, whatever you got to be on, Senate, all that, change the laws, change how we move. That's what I would do. That's what, if you really wanted to change, be effective and get involved in government.
So you don't disagree with the protest, you just disagree with how they protest. How
they protesting is not, I don't agree with how they protesting. Yeah, protest, yes. Protest, yes. If you think that's going to make a change, yeah. If you think it's going to make a difference, it's going to make people pay attention, yeah. But the way y'all going about it, I don't think it's right. I don't think you spray painting the library is going to really make anything change. I know has been spray painting the library for years, and they just shut the library down. That's all they did. Yeah. So no, I don't think that's the way to go about it. I think the way to go about it is to get into legislation, to show up to your congressman's office, show up to your senator's office, show up, sit outside their office and protest. Put the pressure on them. Doing it at the schools ain't putting no pressure on them. They just they up there at the school cutting up, whatever. And we as a 20-something-year-old, do you invigorated teenager? Yeah, that's protest. It's been happening every decade. It's always happened. Women was out there burning their bras, but y'all out here angry about what's going on over there in Gaza and this genocide when they about to pass laws over our bodies, women's bodies. We ain't gonna be able to have no choice in what we do. And Roe v. Wade already overturned. Yeah. Hello, we need to be paying attention. The distraction is real. It's gonna be Handmaid's Tale out here. When you start really reading all the legislation, read everything. It's about to be Handmaid's Tale out here. You about to be it's gonna be crazy. You voluntarily want to be pregnant. Yeah, that's a voluntary thing. But there's gonna be situations where it's gonna be involuntary. I mean, if you read the legislations, and I might not be articulating this the best, but I'm concerned for our future, and I'm concerned when our youth all their knowledge is coming from TikTok and Instagram, and they not really doing the real research and really reading. They just taking some blogger's word for it. It's no, go look the up. Go look up these legislations. There's no doubt there is a genocide happening. There's no doubt about that. But that's not the only one that's happening right now. So if we're gonna be protesting genocide, if we against genocide, we need to be against all the genocides, not just the lighter genocide. All the the black, the brown, everybody, everybody. We're not. It don't need to just be from the river to the sea. You need to be recycle these cell phones and stop killing the Congolese. But don't get me started. I'm started. Okay. Anyways, I Curse You With Joy is out today. Get it on audio or a physical book, hard copy at any local bookstore. The audio version is off the chain because I'm definitely bringing it, and some of my music is on there. And I'm really excited about the music that's coming for you. So yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. The book is out right now. Make sure you pick it up. It's The Breakfast Club. It's Tiffany Haddish. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club.
What's happening?
Let's get to Jess with the Mess.
News is real, whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jess Moore, just don't do no lies, don't do no lies.
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mack.
On the Breakfast Club.
She's the coach of shit.
She was able to get y'all to see something and understand something that nobody could get you to see.
It's time to set it off.
Okay, so 26-year-old declared brain dead after drowning. We can go straight to the report.
The Louisiana Tech University graduate was hanging out with friends at a lakefront restaurant back on April 14th when one of his friends allegedly pushed him into the water. Now, KSLA exclusively obtained new information today from the Union Parish Sheriff's Office. Law enforcement released the call sheet report from the near drowning incident. And tonight, Chris is still in the hospital, but according to family, he's doing much better and is officially off life support.
Wow.
Okay, so a little bit more detail. So he is a young black man, and he was the only black one. All of his friends are white. He spent more than 10 minutes submerged underwater. He was hanging out with some of his white friends at a lakefront in Louisiana when one of them pushed him into the water, knowing that he couldn't swim. In the video of the incident, you can see a woman trying to save him, but she was unsuccessful. Shortly after a man who was eating at a nearby restaurant, he saw and heard the commotion and he went to rescue him. His friends originally lied and said that he fell into the water, but one of his white female friends admits to pushing him in and considered it horseplay. His friends looked on as he struggled for 10 minutes, and it took two strangers to help him, like I just said. And when he arrived to the hospital, he was declared brain dead, and the rest of his organs were starting to fail. Earlier this week, he was on life support, and his lungs were operating at 20% capacity. But in the last day or so, he was taking off life support. And even though he, like the report said, is making major improvements, he still can't speak.
That's horrible, man.
That don't even make sense.
That's
don't even make sense. They push him in the water. They said they were horse playing.
Yep.
Obviously, he couldn't swim because he was under there for 10 minutes, so nobody jumped in to go get him.
No.
One girl said she tried with all the other males on there that could have helped him out, and they had to wait for somebody else.
No, that was another woman. That was another stranger.
Oh, another stranger.
Who had tried and was unsuccessful. He was probably too heavy.
So they heard the commotion, and then from hearing the commotion, they saved him. So them other kids on the boat didn't try to save him?
No, none of his friends. And lied about it at first.
I wonder what the percentage of black people who can't swim is now. Because back in the day, it used to be high. It used to be like almost 60%. I wonder what it is now in 2024.
Now you're right.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody with kids, I mean, this has nothing to do with this, but when you have kids and babies, teach them how to swim early if you can. Whether it's the YMCA, they have cheap classes, or you take them to wherever you can. Teach your kids how to swim early, so if they're ever in a situation, they can at least hold themselves up until they can get some help. But
and shouldn't those kids shouldn't they be charged with something?
Absolutely, they should be. Yeah.
Whether it was horseplay or not, something bad still happened.
Yep. And then
just
the
chalk
girl
that up
admitted.
to an accident.
Yeah, and she admitted it after a while. Like, I did push him in, but I was just playing. But so I'm gonna keep up with that story to see if they are arrested but any type of consequence. Javante Davis and Devin Haney get into a heated argument in Miami. So Tank and Devin Haney was outside the Fountain Blue in Miami when they got into a heated argument. And a few days ago, Javante was interviewed by a journalist and talked about backing up Ryan Garcia in his last fight and just not believing that Ryan was on performance-enhancing drugs. And this is what he said to the journalist.
You know why I'm backing Ryan? Because a lot of boxers going at him. Which, when we fought, we made it cool to go at Ryan like that. Ryan is not somebody that keep confrontation, So, and why didn't it take 72 hours for the test to come back, right?
Came back after the fight, yeah.
Right. So why didn't come out that Tuesday or that week next? They waited till Canelo fight to push that. Then once they pushed that, Devin and them was on ESPN that night promoting that he was. It's all in. I'm telling you. What about your thoughts on?
I've been watching Javante lately, and I saw him on $1 Million Worth of Game. He got a speech coach or something. Because what happened to Javante's T's?
What do you mean?
He don't say T's no more.
He say T.
No, it's just T. It's not like y'all. It used to be heavy Baltimore.
Okay. Well, maybe he did get a speech.
I don't like that.
You don't like that he can't say T?
I don't like AI Javante Davis. I want I don't want the clone. I want the real thing going to you.
They almost needed AI for what he said to journalists. I was over there like, ooh, Jesus, what are you saying? But, don't play with my brother. That's the Baltimore brother right there. And if he needed the speech therapy, obviously, because he did. Then
no, he didn't.
Yes,
he
he
spoke
did.
perfectly fine.
Oh, we did.
To me.
Oh,
but I like the
nice.
Baltimore accent though.
All right. Well, sometimes I guess the speech therapist had to work on certain ease to help yeah, to help him out.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, but the video really wasn't that serious. They wasn't letting Javante get to Devin. Devin was hanging out the car, and he was, both of their teams were like around each other, and they had on Scully hats in Miami in May. So that was just an observation that I saw. I was like, Jesus, they not hot.
Pointless to get a speech therapist if you're gonna wear a Scully hat in Miami.
First of all, don't do that. Don't do that. But either way, and he's expected to fight coming up.
Yep,
Javante, right?
Yes, he's fighting Frank Martin.
Who y'all got?
Tank.
Absolutely, I'm glad y'all said that. That's my guy. I had another story, but it's not gonna make. Yeah, so we'll swear your little finger. No. So, yeah, I'm sorry. We have to end that.
Well, that is Jess with the mess. Now, Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to?
There's a Catholic priest named Lawrence Kozak who needs to come to the front of the congregation because he stole some booty. We'll talk about it for after the hour.
We'll get to it next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake up. You're locked into the Breakfast Club.
Your execution on the donkey of the day is something to behold.
Is it a ring?
He gave me donkey of the day, and I deserve it.
People need to know.
Well, you need to tell them.
I am.
You have the voice. Tell them. Tell them.
It's time for Donkey of the Day.
It's a read, but you're so good at it.
You trying to be a fake ass Charlamagne. There's only one Charlamagne to go.
Damn, Charlamagne, who you giving donkey of the day to?
Well, Sexy Red. Donkey of the day for Tuesday, May 7th goes to a Catholic priest named Lawrence Kozak. Lawrence is accused of stealing booty from a church in Pennsylvania. Now, let the record show, when I say this Catholic priest stole booty, I'm not talking about little kids. I'm talking money. Yes, this man stole more than 40 grand in expenses over 3 years. And some of the money was used to buy cell phone games. Cell phone video games. I'm a stern believer that it's not a stereotype if it's true. And this story is not going to do anything to defy the stereotype that Catholic priests are pedophiles and child abusers, especially when we dive more into why this particular Catholic priest was stealing money. Let's go to WRAL for the report, please.
A Pennsylvania Catholic priest is accused of stealing parish funds to play games like Candy Crush. Lawrence Kozak is charged with theft and related crimes. Authorities say he racked up tens of thousands of dollars in expenses over 3 years and used some of that cash to play cell phone games like Pokemon Go. The Archdiocese has placed Kozak on administrative leave.
These poor people, man, they come to the Catholic Church, giving tithes and offerings, okay, giving their 10% to the Lord, and here go the pastor stealing money because he wants to play Wizard of Oz slots and Candy Crush Saga and Cash Frenzy and Mario Kart Tour and Pokemon Go. I hate to be, the one to break the news to you, but this man might have been buying apps for ass, man. Okay, there's just no way that a Catholic priest steals $40,000 from the church, and a large part of it is going to these apps that are largely aimed at kids. Now, I'm not one of these people who buys into every stereotype. I know that there's a lot of prejudice against the Catholic Church because there are some people who believe that Catholic priests everywhere are pedophiles and child abusers. We know that this is not the case. Every Catholic priest is not the same. So if I say, what's the difference between Woody from Toy Story and a priest, and someone replies, only one of them goes limp when a child walks in the room, that does not apply to all priests, okay? Do you understand? But it could apply to Lawrence Kozak. I don't want to get distracted, though. This man used the church's money that he stole, over $40,000 on apps. The thing that bothers me the most about this is that you are taking advantage of people's need to believe, taking advantage of a person's, need to believe. That's also a form of abuse, all right? These people are sowing a seed. They are showing gratitude for all that God has given. They want to return to God a portion of what they have received. And a lot of people do this hoping that it will also come back to them because they need it. People say when you tithe, it brings you closer to God. So you taking advantage of people's need to believe, their hard-earned money that they could be spending on food, medical bills, housing, childcare, but you taking these folks, money so you can buy Candy Crush and Pokemon Go? Pokemon Go? I think you got all these apps because you want to poke a kid. But I don't want to reinforce stereotypes because all Catholic priests should not be judged by the bad actions of a few. Like if I ask what's the difference between acne and a Catholic priest, if someone responds to all Catholic priests, that just wouldn't be right. Now, let's just say Lawrence wasn't reinforcing negative stereotypes of Catholic priests, and he was one of the many people who are addicted to these cell phone apps. I truly believe game purchases is an epidemic as big as crack or opioids. They get you hooked by giving you something free, but the catch is they make you wait like every hour to refresh, but then they'll offer you a quicker way to get whatever you need replenished. You just gotta pay. Monopoly Go gives you 10 dice every hour, or you can get 100 dice for $9.99. Which one are you gonna ultimately choose if you want to play Monopoly Go? It's kind of like, man, remember back in the day, and it still might happen now, like when the new iPhone comes out, and then they ask you if you want an update on your old phone, and then when you update it don't quite work the same.
That just happened to me.
See what I'm saying?
My alarm clock will not work now.
You see what I'm saying? So now you forced to go buy a new phone? Yeah, that's how they get you. Speaking of getting you, I just really want people to understand that I am not on this radio saying all Catholic priests abuse kids. I'm just saying it's suspicious that this guy was using the church's money to have all these apps for kids on his phone. If I ask Kendrick Lamar, why do Catholic priests like playing the violin? And Kendrick replies, because they get to finger a minor. That A minor, that has nothing to do with all Catholic priests, okay? Now, Father Kozaz was arrested on April 25th and faces felony theft charges, and he earned that. Father Kozak. Have you ever wondered why Catholic priests call themselves Father? Because it's too suspicious for kids to call them Daddy. But that has nothing to do with all of them, just some. Please let Remy Ma give Lawrence Kozak the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb? Well.
That's it.
That's it. It's just a prayer. It's like,
okay.
I don't know what's worse, like Charlamagne or the priest.
I didn't do anything. I was just telling the story.
No, I'm not talking about in reference to the kids. I'm talking about the way that you just slaughtered a lot of other priestesses.
No, priestesses. I said some.
Is priestesses a word?
Some.
How you spell priestesses?
I didn't say all. I said some.
I know the last little bit of them that listen to this gonna be like, oh,
Well, if it don't apply, let it fly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it don't fit, you must have quit.
Huh?
All right, thank you for that donkey today. Now, when we come back, Karl will be joining us. Where's Karl from?
Karl is from ABC. He's on This Week ABC, but he also has a new book out called Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party.
Yep, we're going to get with Karl when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Everybody, it's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Jonathan Karl, welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's great to be here.
Tell the people who Jonathan Karl is if they don't know.
I'm the chief Washington correspondent for ABC News. I covered the White House for more than a decade as the chief White House correspondent, including all of Obama's second term, all of Donald Trump's term. I've written 3 books on that guy, on Trump, and I'm the co-host of This Week.
And how did you get into politics? For people that don't know, describe that story.
I got to tell you, ever since I was like a little kid, I was 5th grade. I was like grabbing for the New York Times sports section first, which was pretty lame at the times, and then the op-ed page to read the op-eds. My mom and my stepfather went out to South Dakota at about that time, and we went to Mount Rushmore, and they ended up doing a project. And by the way, neither one of them went to college. My stepfather had been a cab driver. He was running a factory in Stamford, Connecticut. We went out there. We ended up moving to South Dakota, and they went on this project to interview all the people that worked on Mount Rushmore. There were 300 and some people, most of them miners, who built that frickin' sculpture, that mountain. And that was like journalism. I missed a lot of school. I ended up going to school in a town with 350 people out there for a couple of years. And so I think that was the beginning. I never really looked back.
Who was better for business, Obama or Trump? We just talking about the business. Nothing else, just the business of what you do. Who was better for it?
Okay, so being at that White House for the transition, and by the way, I was in the Oval Office the one and only time that Barack Obama and Donald Trump met. and that was on November 10th of 2016. 2 days after Trump won, Obama invited him in. You know, seeing the two of them, I mean, we've never had two more different presidents, of course, in American history together. The one time I saw Donald Trump in a room where he was not in charge. Obama was the president, and it was Obama's meeting. Obama invited, me and the other press in for the little photo op at the end. Obama made the first comment, invited Trump to speak, and Trump almost seemed humbled for a moment. He even said some nice things about Obama. It lasted for about 36 hours. Still kept on saying some nice things about how well he was welcomed by Mrs. O and, the president. But in terms of who's better for business, let me answer it this way. With the advent of that, from that moment on, the interest in what was going on at the White House was completely off the charts. So is that good? I mean, I guess it's good because the ratings are high. Is it good for the country? That's a whole entirely different question.
It's unprecedented, right? Because, it was the executive producer, Celebrity Apprentice, a notorious 80s, 90s celebrity becomes president of the United States of America.
Yeah. I mean, and it was a show. I mean, that's why my first book I wrote was Front Row at the Trump Show. And this is what it was. And he cared. He tracked the ratings. He beat up on the critics. He programmed. He was the executive producer. That's why he went through so many communications directors and press secretaries and all that, because he was the chief of staff. He was the spokesperson. He was the executive producer. He was the director. And every day he was thinking, how can I get more attention? One thing, the Twitter thing was obviously something that defined the Trump years. But he would do this little parlor trick sometimes. We had people come in to the dining room off the Oval Office where he spent most of his time, had a big TV. He said, watch this. And he would tweet and then count the minutes until the tweet was on the cables.
Wow.
Really?
Well, that's the other thing, too. He's also probably the first president that had the full benefit of social media. Like social media in its fullest form as we see it now, he had full advantage of that since 2016.
Do you know how many times the Obama campaign tweeted in 2008?
No.
Once. It was a new thing. They tried it out. It was like, and Obama made a lot of use of social media, to be sure. But Trump would do another thing, which is he had this guy, Dan Scavino, who was actually he had been his caddy, and he met him at one of his golf courses and been with him, the guy that's been with him the longest, outside of his family, in that White House. And, another thing Trump would do, he'd have someone, and I witnessed this myself, he'd come into the Oval Office and you see how we're doing? He's going, Dan, what's the number? And then Dan would come out from his little office right outside and tell him the number of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram followers he had, the combined number. He was tracking that by the minute.
You think Biden could beat Trump? And if you do feel that way, what does he have to do to make sure he has the support of the people out there?
I actually think that Biden is probably the front runner, even though it doesn't look like that in the polls right now.
Why do you feel that way?
Trump has, and I document this in my, I had a book out a few months ago, Tired of Winning, and I kind of go through, Trump does a great job of convincing everybody that he is the biggest, the most powerful, the greatest winner of all time. He's actually been a tremendous loser in politics. He's won one election, and that was 2016. And he led the Republicans on a series of losses. And primarily, you can track the losses. Almost all the major defeats can be tracked to something Trump did. Either he was the one that basically chose the candidate, he meddled in, inserted himself in a way that was not active. So he doesn't have a good electoral track record at all. Now, he did just run through the Republican nomination in what turned out to be a very weak field. Most of the candidates he was running against didn't even want to criticize him until it was way too late.
Except for Chris Christie.
Yeah, Chris Christie, who had one fundamental flaw Christie had, is he was the guy that basically helped Trump win in 2016. But I think that Trump comes into this election with far more negatives than he had in 2016 when he won, and certainly than in 2020 when he lost. The whole experience of what happened through January 6th, and then what he did after he left the White House. And this is what I spent a lot of time documenting. I mean, this does not look like a former president of the United States, let alone somebody that has a chance of coming back. He wallowed in these conspiracy theories for more than 2 years that he had won the election, and he actually believed that he could be put back into the White House before the next election. He believed that the world would see what had really happened in 2020, and Biden would be basically evicted, and they would put him back in. Dinner with Kanye and Nick Fuentes, white supremacist, a week after he announces his campaign, selling NFTs, these digital trading. He looked like a guy just trying to make some money off the whole thing. So now he's leading in the polls, and he's consistently leading in the polls, and most importantly in the polls of the battleground states. But I truly think that most Americans have kind of checked out. And, for all that intense focus on what I was doing when I was the White House correspondent that I felt at the Trump White House, who's paying attention to what's going on in the Biden White House, in the public at large?
All right, we got more with John Karl when we come back. His book, Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party. He's here, and we'll talk some more when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's the EJNV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with John Karl, of course, from ABC, and his book, Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party. He's here. Now, I got a question. What do you think about the effects of some of the celebrities, like Stephen A. Smith saying that he's relatable because of his arrest, or him sitting down with people like Kanye West and all these other artists that are going for him? Do you think that is a big influence to help him out, or do you think it'll hurt him?
I don't think Kanye particularly helped him. I thought that whole episode was so bizarre. I mean,
still sells millions of records. He still
100%.
sells out shows. He just had a #1 record. So I know people hate him.
Yeah.
They say they hate him, but somebody's supporting him.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he, that dinner, which, and what did Kanye say afterwards? That he was offering Trump to be his vice president. But he brings Nick Fuentes. This is a guy who is most people didn't know him until they saw the stories about this. But this guy is like an actual white supremacist. I mean, that's his brand. Mm-hmm. And Kanye has a thing for Adolf Hitler, which is really strange. So Trump gets, everybody condemns this meeting. Trump to this day has not criticized either of them and hasn't said, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or if I, or I did it, I'll meet with anybody, but I don't believe in what they believe in. He hasn't not a hint of criticism. Mm-hmm. So he clearly senses that this is good. I think the other thing that he's done is he is afraid of alienating anybody who he sees as his supporter, even if they're totally off the deep end. He didn't get around to condemning David Duke until, by the way, after the Louisiana primary in 2016. I mean, only after it really became. There's a crazy story that I talk about in Front Row on the Trump Show about how, Reince Priebus and Chris Christie and all these people that were around him were basically just pleading with him and begging him to just disavow the endorsement of David Duke, because David Duke had endorsed him. Mm-hmm. And Trump didn't want to do it. Finally, he got browbeaten into doing it. By the way, that's the stuff that he's not going to get browbeaten into doing anymore.
No, that's normalized now.
Yeah.
Well, why did the grand old party come to an end?
Well, I think you alluded to it when we started this conversation. Mm-hmm. I think that the Republican Party is the Trump party now. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are elements and there are, little bits and pieces of the old party out there. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at this debate over Ukraine. So they have this big debate on whether or not we're going to, support Ukraine, continue to support Ukraine in the war against Russia. And it passed overwhelmingly eventually, when the Republicans finally agreed to have the vote, overwhelming in the House, overwhelming in the Senate. But in the House, a majority of Republicans voted against it. I mean, this is the party of Reagan, not anymore. It's the party of Trump.
Is that good or bad for the future of the Republican Party?
Well, I think the Republican Party has a real challenge once, when Trump is gone. I think that he's done such a good job of basically decimating what was there before. I think that they've got some real definitional problems. What do they stand for? Mm-hmm. What does Make America Great Again mean? Because if you look, do you remember what the Republican platform was in 2020?
Make America Great Again.
Yeah, there was no platform except for that statement. There was no platform. Usually, I've been covering conventions where you have all the detailed what we stand for in domestic policy, foreign policy, the cultural issues. Nothing. It was just Trump's Make America Great Again plan. So, what do they stand for, when he's gone? Now, look, the Democrats have huge problems. And you see, the fact that we see more Hispanic voters than we've seen voting Republican, and reflected in the polls supporting more black voters. It's still, Democrats dominate both groups, but the fact that Democrats are losing supports among blacks and Latinos to Donald Trump is a sign that Democrats have some problems too.
When you talk about what a Trump White House will look like if he gets back in the White House, can you talk to that? Can you speak to Project 25?
Yeah. So this is really important, and I don't think people understand. And this is something that I think people have to understand before they go and vote. When Trump comes back in, if he comes back in, the first test for anybody in a position of authority and power is going to be loyalty to Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time reporting and documenting the work of a guy named Johnny McEntee, who was the guy that carried Trump's bags. He was actually one of the first guys I met on the Trump campaign in 2015. He had been like a very junior. He was a kid. He was just out of UConn. He'd been a college quarterback. He came to volunteer for the Trump campaign right after Trump announced the first time around and ended up carrying his bags for much of his presidency. He came back in 2020. He'd been briefly thrown out of the White House, by the way, because he had issues related to his gambling that were flagged by the FBI. So John Kelly, Trump's chief of staff, fired him. After Kelly was gone, McEntee came back and was put in charge of presidential personnel. Basically the HR department for the whole executive branch of the U.S. government. And he went about in the beginning of 2020 to try to do a series of loyalty tests, interviews. He sent his people out, mostly his buddies, like these are kids in their 20s. He was 30 years old at the time, to interview from cabinet secretaries on down, testing their support of Donald Trump. And he engineered, the biggest thing he engineered was the firing of the Secretary of Defense right after the election. Esper. Remember, Esper was the one that opposed the use of the Insurrection Act to bring active duty troops into American cities during the George Floyd protests. Fired. Top 4 people at the Pentagon fired, replaced by people devoted to Donald Trump. So now McEntee is part of this thing called Project 2025, which is to create a list of who can serve in the next Trump White House. And you're not going to have people. Trump brought in some people of real stature. General Mattis, General Kelly, his White House counsel, Don McGahn, later White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, later Bill Barr, people that had served in previous administrations or were top military figures who ended up standing up to Trump and refusing his demands to break the law, essentially. Those people and people like them will not be back. It'll be people that Johnny McEntee and this group have decided are truly loyal to the king.
And what type of threat to democracy do you think that poses?
Well, look,
do you think it's overstated when people say that he's a threat to democracy?
I don't think it's overstated because he actually tried to bring down a presidential election, so he has done that. But I think that the underappreciated is, you heard the Supreme Court arguments on this idea of immunity. And by the way, when Trump talks about immunity, and he talks about it a lot in his campaign rallies, he's not talking about acts tied to his official duties. He's talking about immunity. He's talking about shoot him on Fifth Avenue kind of immunity.
That's right.
So you have somebody who is making the case that the president is above the law, who is running to be president again. I think that raises real questions about what does the rule of law mean. There is a theory, the unitary theory of the executive branch, that is put forward by some serious legal, constitutional scholars, that basically says that the president is the law. The way Nixon put it, you remember when in his interview with David Frost after he had resigned, it's not illegal if the president does it. I mean, there's a whole theory that goes along with that. And that's what essentially Trump is putting out there. So I worry, there was a big question that I explored after January 6th about what would have happened if Mike Pence had done what Trump wanted.
Yeah.
And what Trump really wanted, by the way, was Pence to just throw out those electoral votes and declare him president.
He didn't have the power to do that, though, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But who had the power to stop him? This is a mind-blowing thing. And by the way, the law has been changed now, to be clarified. But who had the power to stop him? Some people say, well, the Supreme Court would have stopped him. Well, first of all, it's not clear at all that the Supreme Court has any jurisdiction over the rules of Congress in counting electoral votes. But so let's say the Supreme Court in what army? I mean, there was I talked to Judge Ludwig, who testified in the January 6th committee. I talked to him about it, and he said, look, this would have plunged us into the greatest constitutional crisis that we have ever seen, because it is Pence did not have the power to do that, but basically it's unclear if anybody had the power to stop him. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, his book is out right now, Tired of Winning. You could definitely pick that
Donald
up.
Trump and the end of the grand old party.
Hey, thank you.
Jonathan, Karl, ladies and gentlemen, it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to Jess with the Mess.
News is real, whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies, don't do no lies.
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mack.
On the Breakfast Club.
She's a culture shift.
She was able to get y'all to see something and understand something that nobody could get you to see.
It's time to set it off.
Whoopi Goldberg recalls cocaine addiction. Whoopi Goldberg's new memoir, Bits and Pieces, My Mother, My Brother, and Me, comes out today. But one part of the book that is really circulating already is her addiction to cocaine. She spoke on how Hollywood and New York redefined the meaning of recreational drug use in the 80s. She wrote, I was invited to parties where I was greeted at the door with a bowl of Quaaludes from which I could pick what I wanted. Lines of cocaine were laid across tables and bathroom counters for the taking. Damn, them parties was lit back in the day.
It's no different than what these kids doing now with the Molly and the ecstasy and all of them drugs they doing. It's just that was the drugs of the time.
But you're not greeted with no bowl. Now, I've been, ain't nobody never opened the door for me with no bowl. Like, what you want?
You going to the wrong parties.
Shrooms or weed. I know.
Yeah, they got parties with shrooms. Yeah, they be hearing about parties with shrooms. So they have shrooms on the table and stuff like that. Edibles and stuff like that.
Pre-rolls.
Mm-hmm. I got about 3-4 more months. All right. So she felt like she could handle cocaine because she didn't feel like it was dangerous because of how accessible it was. She was good for about a year until she felt like cocaine started kicking her ass. It started to impact how she showed up for work and caused her to hallucinate. She said the moment that made her get help was when she was doing cocaine in a closet at an upscale hotel. A housekeeper came and opened the closet. She saw Whoopi and started screaming. Whoopi jumped up and started explaining to her that it was her room. She saw her reflection in the mirror, and she had cocaine smeared all over her face. From that moment, she decided to quit cold turkey. She said, I knew I'd have to change out my friends and turn down invitations, but I could do that. I didn't want to die.
Cocaine was plant-based, you know what I mean? This is back in the day, you know, before they used to put all the Rihanna makeup in it. You know what I'm saying? So when they started adding the Fenty to it, that's when it became really, really dangerous. When they started cutting the cocaine with all types of other stuff, that's when it became really, really dangerous. But there was a time when cocaine was really, really pure.
I wonder why she was in the closet, though, if that was her hotel room.
Yeah, but you know, when you on that coke, when you on that plant-based coke,
exactly.
No, you don't know.
Whoopi said she was coming up here for her book, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know it came out today.
This will definitely make people read it, though. This is actually great, and it comes out today. So get it if get it. All right, moving on. DJ Vlad criticized for an argument with college professor. So we got into it with a Princeton professor after she asked him not to speak on the Drake and Kendrick beef. His tweet was simply, Kendrick's Not Like Us needed a better mix. It takes away from the song. Now, I was told that DJ Vlad was a producer, so I don't see why he couldn't have this opinion about the song. She responded to him and said, you are white. This is a black folk affair. So he responded to her and said, wait, so a professor at Princeton is telling me that a white person shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinion about hip hop? Is that how you interact with your students? She came back and said, what I'm saying is that you put your opinion in a discussion that's not needed. This conversation is and should censor black people, not you. She said, Vlad said, don't try to change your words now. I'll be reaching out to Princeton about this on Monday. So she said, semester's over and my contract has been completed, but thanks for trying to bully me out of a job for censoring black people because you got your feelings hurt. Very retaliatory, huh? Nice tactic. The professor says she found it funny that Vlad chose her to respond to out of all people. Well, I mean, you kind of asked for it. Vlad said, I responded to you because all the other responses are from trolls and fake accounts. You may want to think about getting a burner account like all the other bigots do. That's how they keep from getting fired. LOL. Ate her up. Jesus. He definitely did. And later on, he shared another tweet clarifying that he never actually planned to file a complaint against her. He says, she trolled me and I trolled back. But he feels like their argument led to a bigger conversation about race relations, and he plans to bring it up in his future interviews.
Here's the thing. Social media is the place where people can express their opinions. Vlad said what he said, and that comment had nothing to do with race. All Vlad said was the song needed a better mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that comment. And then the sister said what she said, but now that sister has to deal with the consequences of whatever Vlad chooses to do, if he chooses to, file a formal complaint or whatever. And Vlad has to deal with the consequences of filing the complaint on the sister because social media going to be mad at.
Right.
So everybody got the right to their opinion.
Yeah. He said he wasn't actually going to do it, though. He probably was just trying, like you said, troll her back. But I just feel like some things just shouldn't be turned into race. I think it was just like,
I agree.
you know. And then some people would argue that Drake is half white. And Jewish, by the way. So why can't Vlad have an opinion about the competitor's beat? That's all he said. He
was talking about a mix.
But the funny thing is,
when you
Vlad
go
is a
in the-
DJ, though, right? He
not
used to be a
only-
DJ.
Not only is Vlad
Like
a
a
DJ, Vlad
like-
was a producer. So Vlad knows a bad mix when he hears one.
No, but he was a real DJ, like doing parties and clubs and mixtapes.
And he's from the West Coast.
So when he heard it, he probably was like...
And by the way, when you walk into a recording studio, you know who the people mixing your music most of the time are?
White
engineers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it was just an honest critique of his own. It was his own opinion.
I thought that whole exchange was very, very strange because I don't know why a professor from Princeton would react in the way a regular Twitter nigga would.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
not only that, he just said he didn't like the mix.
He didn't like
That's
the
what he
mix.
said. He didn't like the
that
mix.
wasn't a thing to
He
bring
just said, I
race
didn't like
into.
this record because it is. He just said, I didn't like the mix.
I didn't like the mix. That was not something to bring race into. and by the way, Vlad, like I said, you got to deal with the consequences of however Vlad chooses to react, and Vlad has to deal with the consequences of reacting in that way.
Yeah.
Because he'll complain to Columbia University, and she complain to Twitter, and Twitter gonna get on Vlad, just like Columbia University or some university might get on her. That's all.
Only difference is Vlad owns his own stuff, so he's not gonna get fired.
That's very true.
She could get suspended.
That is very true.
Yeah. A lot of people attacking him, like Mark Lamont Hill and all that. And he went back at Mark Lamont. Like, how many jobs you was fired from again?
No,
man. Yeah, he did.
Jesus Christ.
He did. Yeah.
Stop.
So Mark didn't say anything else.
Salute to Mark, man.
All right. Well, that is Jess with the Mess. All right. When we come back, we got the People's Choice Mix. Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
You're checking out the Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Salute to Tiffany Haddish for joining us this morning.
That's right. Make sure you go pick up her new book, I Curse You With Joy, available everywhere you buy books now. You sitting over there looking sick.
Because I'm trying not to get sick.
Well, go ahead and throw up. We all know you pregnant. Morning sickness comes with it.
Well, I gotta throw up after I finish my job.
That's a trooper.
Yes, I'm hanging in there.
And John Karl for joining us this morning.
That's right. John Karl, he's got a new book out too, called Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party. Yes, that John Karl that you watch on This Week ABC every weekend. That's who joined us this morning as well.
All right.
I like this type of show. These are the type of shows I like. The perfect balance of ratchetness and righteousness. We had Angela Rye here doing front page news. Yes.
She's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, shout out to Miss Rye.
Nice.
And when we come back, we got the positive notice, the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. It's time to get up out of here. I want to salute to the New York Knicks again. A great game. I mean, the NBA series has been amazing. I mean, it goes down to the wire each and every night, and them Knicks are scrappy. So salute to the New York Knicks.
I was thinking last night, I said, man, if the Knicks are like one scorer and one healthy Julius Randle away from like maybe winning a championship.
I agree.
I don't know if they could contend with too many teams in the West, but maybe. Like literally, I'm talking about a scorer though. Like I'm talking about when I say scorer, I mean a Kevin Durant level scorer, and then a healthy Julius Randle. But you got a Jalen Brunson, a healthy Julius Randle, and like a scorer that can get them buckets anytime. Knicks would be a problem.
They've been saying Paul George, that he's been in the rumor mill. Somebody else has been in the rumor mill. I seen too. That
as long as you don't got to give up too much to give. I think Paul George might be a free agent.
They might be a free agent.
Is he?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't think Spider Mitchell. I don't think Mitchell ain't leaving in Cleveland. All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here. We got a positive note.
Yes, I want to make sure to tell people to pre-order my new book, Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks, available May 21st, man. You can go to whysmalltalksucks.com to see what cities I'm going to be in starting on May 21st, man. So I'll see you out on the road. And the positive note is simply this. I don't know who needs to hear this, okay? But it is time. Listen to me, man. God really wants me to tell you this. It is time to delete Uber Eats from your phone because that's the reason your stomach big now. Have a blessed day.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?